Hello everyone. So today I am discussing an essay, how to write an essay, and essay is very important for UPSC, okay, and any other background just like MA, your honors course in your MA. So essay is very important. So today I am talking about women empowerment. And women empowerment is very important topic for your UPSC papers. So I give you knowledge like issues which faced women through society and our social and cultural. Okay, so let's see in my video. So begin with an essay, home and empowerment. So first I give you an introduction. Throughout history, women's identity, position of women. So throughout history and in many societies including India, gender inequality was part and parcel of an accepted male dominated culture. Atrocities and discriminations are two major problems which the Indian women face in the present day society. The traditional mentality of India assumes that the place of women is mainly confined to the household activities like kitchen work and upbringing of the children. They have been considered as the sex objects and inferior to men in different spheres of knowledge. So throughout history, we know that the sati pratha, parda system, child marriage, dowry system, etc., have been some form of the atrocities and discriminatory attitudes against the woman. Even after 67 of Indian independence, women still constitute one of the most powerless and marginalized sections of Indian society. So percentage of female literacy is 65.46. It is very important you give a percentage of these ratios, okay, male and females ratio. So education and another spheres of ratios also, okay, it need to be added in your essay. So another para I can say. So next we can say and focus on the areas of liberation and kind of emancipations from social discriminations. Okay, so next where we can say there are perhaps two sources to which the contemporary understanding and practices of empowerment may be traced. The first, governance and development discourse, has largely been associated with the managerial and regulatory regime of governance articulated in the context of liberation. So you need to be understand the meaning of liberations, okay, as the exercise of political authority in a way which makes for sound development and management and success for the market economy. So the second, the grassroots and social movement discourse may be seen as manifesting a continuations of a stand of participatory democracy which places faith in people's presence and active involvement in decision making, especially in matters which pertain to their immediate life and life. Empowerment also holds out a promise for social change through means. So we can focus on the understanding of empowerment. So therefore empowerment is a process aimed at changing the nature and reaction of systematic forces which marginalized women and other disadvantaged sections in a given context. Issues of equality and right for women were always claimed as crucial components in state policy. Much of the justifications for rights, justice,
and equality for women came from the need of emancipation or liberation of women. Empowerment has become significant for creating enabling condition for disadvantaged groups. At the same time, it also become a rallying cry for grassroots movements. The conceptions of disadvantaged groups as passive recipients or target groups of specific state policies has to some extent been overcome. So we understand what is empowerment and how it should be work. Okay. And next we can say kind of constitutional acts and policies. Need to know constitutional rights like human rights, and another thing is human rights program and commissions like that. Okay, so the democratic process in India created the awareness among women about their pitiful condition. The principle of gender equality is enshrined in the Indian Constitution in its preamble, fundamental rights, fundamental duties, and directive principle. The Constitution not only grants equality to women but also empowers the state to adopt measures of positive discriminations in favor of women. The 73rd and 3rd and 74th amendments 1993 to the constitutions of India provided for reservations of seats in the local bodies of panchayat and municipalities for women, and other constitutional amendment to reserving 33% seats in parliament and state legislatures. So, the Indian government has passed various legislations to safeguard constitutional rights to women. These legislative measures includes the Hindu Marriage Act and etc. Okay, you can see from my note. Okay. The emancipation of women is not a simple matter. It requires attitudinal change in the husband and other family members and society as a whole towards women. So the community consciousness and bureaucratic efforts are integral parts of the implementations of the programs. The first and foremost priority should be given to the education of women, which is the grassroots problems. The struggle for gender justice will be slow, so need to be change. Change is not a simple process actually. It could be much effort. It has to be fought an emotional, cognitive and action levels. The struggles has to carried on within caste, class, race, religion, everywhere in which non-woman relationships figure and matters. So the women's movement and a widespread network of non-government organizations which have a strong grassroots presence and deep insight into women's concerns have contributed in initiatives for the empowerment of women. So economic empowerment of women also needed, and here is an microcredit. It is the position of economy and we can understand how it's work and how it should be. So economic empowerment of women, since women comprise the majority of the population below the poverty line, and are very often in situations of extreme poverty, given in the harsh realities of intra-household and social discrimination. Macroeconomic policies and poverty eradication program will specifically address the needs and problems of such women. Steps should be taken for mobilization of poor women and conference of service by offering them a range of economic and social options, along with necessary support measures to enhance their credibility. So microcredit is here. You should be read this microcredit and understand. And next, I can say globalization has presented new challenges for the realization of the goal of women equality. However, from the micro level studies on that were commissioned by the Department of Women and Child Development, it is evident that there is a need for reforming policies for access to empowerment and equality of empowerment. Benefits of global economy have been unevenly distributed, leading to wider economic disparities. The feminization increased gender inequality through often deteriorating working conditions and unsafe working environments, especially in the informal economy and rural areas. Struggle will be designed to enhance the capacity of women and empower them to meet the negative social and economic impacts which may flow from the globalization process. In modern days, women encouraged to work every field. You know that social empowerment of women, so equal access to education for women and girls, and steps to eliminate discrimination, university education, eradicated illiteracy, so create a gender sensitive educational system, increased in. So those are, so next is the health. So those are the, you know, that empowerment of women ideas. I given you kind of ideas, lots of ideas. In modern times, I also added the globalization is very important for right now. So it should be very useful for your UPSC exams and any kind of essays for any kind of literary essays. Also, if you write if you read a novel, this kind of background information need to know. So thank you for watching my video.